Hey, beautiful people. What's up, y'all? We are back with another video. Today we're gonna react to my man Charlie Kirk, RIP Charlie Kirk. And all I do in the Charlie Kirk reactions, my greatest mic drop ever. Let's get it, let's go, no time to waste. RIP Charlie Kirk, link to the Patreon to be in the bio. Let's get it, let's go. Boom.
Also, I know that one of the stances you take is against critical race theory.
Yes, that's right.
What's your opinion on that? And just tell me what you think about it and what
CRT is repugnant racism.
Repugnant racism. Okay, can you go more into that?
Yeah, if you read Richard Delgado's Intro to Critical Race Theory, he believes that racism is normative. It's everywhere. It exists just as people exist. They believe skin color matters. I do not. I don't believe skin color means anything towards your value or to who you are as a human being. I care about your character, your code of conduct, and your soul, not your skin color.
That's interesting because he actually said that he keeps saying that there's an attack on white people. And he believes in the great replacement theory, which is where white people are being replaced for immigrants and people like that coming in. If you don't believe skin color is important, why do you believe in those things? Research that. Charlie Kirk said that. You know, it's a lot of things he said that was weird too. So I think skin color is important, but it's not about the skin color, it's how you treat color, right? You know, it's how you treat white people and black people. It's important. It's a part of us, you know? Yeah, but I'll read that book. He said Richard Delgado. I'm going to read that. CRT. I'm going to read it because I like hearing the other side of the opinion about CRT because I think CRT is good. I do. There's some things about CRT that are really good and some things about CRT I question, like the whole babies can be racist and shit and hereditary racism. I don't know about hereditary, but I do know, like, you know, people can be taught the shit. I think hereditary excuses its existence, you know, to some degree, but let's go.
Fair thing to believe in, but critical race theory believes that as well. It goes for the equality of races. All it does is teach the history of. I know this because I do.
Okay, so tell me, what does Richard Delgado argue in the Intro to Critical Race Theory as applicable policy reforms for structural and systemic racism?
Sir, you can't expect me to argue for something that I haven't learned yet.
No, I know. It's a little unfair for what I'm doing, but it is Intro to Critical Race Theory is his book.
Okay, but not every class is taught like that.
Fair enough.
For instance, my class is called Race and Ethnicities, and right now we're going into the history of race and how, white people are systemically privileged.
So let me ask you a question. White people are not privileged. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in black-only dormitories?
Black-only dormitories. What does that have to do with the conversation of critical race?
Because as a solving of racism on over 100 universities across the country, there are black-only dormitories. Is that good, bad, evil, wrong? What's your opinion?
I'm sorry, sir, but that's not...
He's lying. Just genuinely lying. They're not black-only dormitories. White people can go to those dormitories 100%. They're not black-only.
Or the question I asked you.
Well, I'm asking you a question. It should be very simple. Black-only spaces, white-only spaces, good or bad?
Sir, there are safe spaces for individuals.
Okay, so you're pro-segregation.
I'm not pro-segregation because guess what, sir? You cut me off. So, answer the question.
It's super easy, man, but I'll give him a chance. White-only spaces, black-only spaces, yes or no?
There are fine spaces where there should be a...
Let him finish.
I can barely hear what they're saying because the crowd is talking over them.
Just say yes or no. Bad if it's forced.
So whites are not allowed in the black spaces?
No, they should be allowed in
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Say for instance there's a club. There's a club that is aimed towards these people. And also, I've never been a part of one of these clubs where they've excluded anyone. You turned off the camera. Anyway, so there are...
Camera's still on.
Yeah, well, it's not there. Anyway, it's okay for these spaces to exist as a safe space. It's okay for these spaces to exist.
So just make sure we're clear. So when the South had white-only restrooms, that was fine.
No, it wasn't.
That's exactly what we have on the 100.
If it's not forced, it's not bad. It's
it's forced
amongst your people. And why would you want to be in a...
He's lying on all ends. It is illegal to have white or black only dormitories. You cannot have that. There are black spaces on campuses, but white people are invited just as well. Like, you can't deny them access to those spaces, just as well as you can't deny black people access to certain spaces with white people. That is completely... He's lying. Completely lying. Like, no college dormitory has that. None.
Space that is taught So like it's like for people. It's for people to accept their culture.
Wait a second.
It's for
So it plays into this false narrative that black people are threatened by white people. Are they?
that's not.
Does the presence of white people threaten black people?
You've strayed very far from the critical race
No,
theory
this is
question.
all what CRT
And
believes
this is
in.
what you are about.
If you read Richard Delgado's
You
Intro to
put
Critical Race
power
Theory,
words that catch people off guard.
no,
When they come to go to one question,
it's not a trick.
it is a trick.
If you read
Your
the literature.
entire existence
Okay, so let me ask you a question. In Richard Delgado, in any one of these guys, right? Nicole Hannah-Jones, you read any of their literature, Ibram X. Kendi, Harry Rogers, what is their opinion of black-only dormitories?
I do not know their
They're in favor of that. CRT argues for black-only spaces and white-only spaces. Is that evil or is that good?
Damn, that's a huge twist. He took one person to say that all of CRT, because CRT is a theory. Okay, CRT is a theory that goes across all. Okay, it's a theory that racism is woven within the fabric of society. And there are many theorists in it that come up with their explanations on why they think it is. And he specifically took one person, Richard Delgado, and tried to say that one. I've heard of Richard Delgado, but I haven't read what he had to say about critical race theory. But he took that one person and tried to say, this is the forefront for how all of critical race theory thinks. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy to a degree. One, and two, he's twisting the words. I really believe he's twisting the words, because I don't believe anybody in CRT believe that there should be separation of anything. I think that they believe that with everything being together, there's a complication, but we have to find a way through that complication. But we have to discuss, with everything being together, how black people are treated amongst society as well as white people. That's what I get from CRT. But there are crazy theories in CRT. Like, for example, the whole concept that babies can be racist. I think that was fucking crazy. Or like I did hear, like in some of the things in the 1619 Project, when you do research on it, I don't know about that. Some of it was wrong. Some of it was wrong. Some of it was correct. You know, yeah, but he's definitely twisting the whole narrative, because the entire thing is a theory. It's like the theory of relativity. There are so many points to talk about with relativity. The theory of gravity, you know, the theory of the Big Bang, the theory of evolution. There are so many sectors that you have to go into to be able to understand the theory. It's a massive amount of facts predicated into one idea. So I don't know. Maybe Richard Delgado did say that, though. But if it's specifically Richard Delgado, you can't say that the CRT is the whole thing. Just because he calls his book the intro to CRT does not mean it was the actual intro to CRT. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could say intro to anything. The intro to capitalism. Like, I can write a book called The Intro to Capitalism. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I created the concept for capitalism. You know? Anyways, keep going.
It's a broader question than that.
It is repugnantly evil to segregate people based on race.
Hey,
you don't have to overthink it.
I'm avoiding a question. You avoid them just as
What
well.
question am I avoiding?
Just because you have a little assembly over there.
What question am I avoiding? Wait, what question am I avoiding?
You're avoiding the question of why critical race theory is bad.
Because CRT argues for black-only spaces and white-only spaces.
It's a broader thing than that. They're not just arguing to separate people.
That's one of many things they're arguing.
Teaching the history of race and what it's done to our society.
First of all, they don't teach it correctly. Secondly, the extrapolation is they actively argue for discrimination against white people.
You say they didn't teach it correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
Why don't they teach it
Well, let's take one example. Nicole Hannah-Jones, the 1619 Project. She has been obliterated by fellow liberal scholars as making up history, revisionist history, not using original source documents,
Making up what kind of history, may I ask?
not quoting the Founding Fathers correctly, not using original source documents, using a motive type methodology. The 1619 Project is a joke by any academic discipline.
Do you feel it's not fair to judge an entire thing by one scholar?
Nicole Hannah-Jones is the leading CRT scholar in America, christened by the New York Times.
And there's always
How about this? How about Ibram X. Kendi, Harry Rogers? How about him, who's the second in command of the CRT regime? How about you pick one and I'll dissect it?
I don't know any currently critical.
Bingo! Because you don't know very much about the
Critical race
topic.
theory has only existed.
I know Hannah Nicole Jones, and like I just brought up the CRT Project. He's talking about. Okay, so he's such a good. He's good at this. He's really good at the media thing. Like, he's good at spinning it back in people's faces. But, however, Hannah Nicole, she was trying to say that racism started the moment we got here off the boat, right? And that there were certain things that happened when we got off the boat. Now she did get some things wrong about, but they weren't really, she wasn't really saying that these were facts of history. She was saying that this is what she thought was of history, and not many, but a lot, but some, not a lot. It was like some of the scholars in the same field were saying like this can't be right, or this can't be fully what it is. And like, yeah, that's good. Like things need to be corrected, but the majority of the 1619 Project, everybody coincides with what she was saying. This is correct, this is history, this is what happened, and these are the things that people had in place to where it created this concept in America that has existed since the foundation of America. Hannah Nicole Jones was definitely, but she was definitely dissected by many people, but at the same time they didn't discredit her work at all. They didn't fully discredit the work. So like he's trying to say like, I don't know if he's trying to say it was fully discredited, but no, that's not what I said. But I definitely would recommend you guys go read the 1619 Project yourself before you take other people's ideas and say, oh, like this person said it wasn't. But I feel like that's what he did. He read, I don't think he read the 1619 Project. I think he read everything that went against the 1619 Project, because I want to see him tell me like, what is CRT? He hasn't mentioned it once. What is CRT? What's the theory?
Other classes.
The only thing he's saying that is against white people, and I disagree with that. I don't think it is.
We know less about it, and we're still researching it. Just like any other field of study, we research it to get a better point.
Read the literature. The undercurrent of all CRT literature, whether it be Delgado, whether it be Nicole Hannah-Jones or Ibram X. Kendi, whether it be Marcuse or Derrida or Foucault or any of the postmodernists, they believe race matters, and you actively must construct society around race using power dynamics. Actively anti-white discrimination, anti-white sort of practices, affirmative action if necessary, black-only dormitories, black-only graduation ceremonies, black-only hiring practices. They believe race matters. In fact, that is Cornel West's book he wrote that says race matters. So where am I off stray in summarizing?
Oh my God, the way, and I want you guys, I know Cornel West will be easy for you guys to stomach, because Cornel West, when he was saying race matters, he was, this dude, he was only saying that, look, society has judged people based on their race. So because society has done that, we have to come to some point where we have an understanding that this conversation has to be had, and we have to discuss how this is affecting how other people can move in society. Why black people are in poverty. Why black people go to jail more than anybody else. Why black people are unaliving each other. Like it was just a forefront of why it is the way it is. Not necessarily that race is more important than the actual individuals. Cornel West, if anything, throughout his entire book was saying things like, white people are my brothers too. They just don't realize they're my brothers yet. That's the type of shit he was saying. So like, he's really spinning this, and it's good. I like it though, because like he knows his media shit.
CRT. I've read literature. I encourage you to too.
I will say, you're very educated on these people that have written books.
Yes, I know. This is what I do for a living.
I know it's what you do.
I read their books, so I know what this stuff is.
Yes, I know you do. But it is wrong to judge a subject. Like, there is no hateful dialect in this class.
I'm not saying it's hateful.
Dude, he destroyed you because you don't know.
Well, are saying that the things that they teach are inherently
Of course they are. If you are saying that blacks should have their own bathrooms and whites should have their own bathrooms, you are no better than a KKK leader in the 1950s.
Hey, you just said the critical race theories that are taught here on campus are not hateful.
The CRT,
the argument that you're speaking, that critical race theories spread to turn.
The fact you cannot speak against black-only dormitories shows the toxicity of CRT.
Well, you're bringing up a buzz term that is a
It's not a buzz term. It's a real example.
Wait, you're speaking against it now.
Question. You're bringing up in a discussion.
It's happening in real time.
If I came up here and said,
It's
hey,
not
I
some
want to
academic
talk.
thing.
Listen, people doing black-only dormitories, that is a subject in itself. That is a question I could have came up and asked, and we could have discussed that. I did not. For instance, you use it as an argument. Okay, use it as an argument. Do not make it your main point.
But it is an example of why CRT is a toxin.
But you've turned it into your main point. This is like one of the only things you brought up. And yes, I get that I get that you can see hateful.
Let me ask you another example, okay?
Sure.
Should black people get reparations?
Should black people get reparations? I believe they should.
Okay, so let me ask you. So a black person that came here in the 1980s, are they entitled to reparations? They came from Nigeria or Dominican Republic.
No.
May I ask you a question, sir? Because no, there's
Reparations
say
by
no.
COC.
Yeah, of course, yes, of course, I believe in reparations for people that are.
So I, white man, have to play for black people. Why?
Wow, that's a really selfish thing you
No,
just said.
hold on. Why should I
That's
have?
a really
And interesting enough, he called himself white man. Why? I thought race didn't matter. Why are you pointing out your skin? Throughout this entire conversation, I thought race didn't matter, but like apparently it does, you know, to some degree. It does. It's a part of our society. It's a part of us. It does matter. It's just how you treat race. That's the only conversation that we need to have. And yeah, I think this is hilarious. They contradict themselves so much when conservatives talk sometimes.
Why should I have empathy for a race? I have white guilt because I breathe?
I'm not saying for you.
Why should the white students here have to work harder to pay for black kids?
You wanted to ask
What is that all about?
Yeah.
Like, what did we do to have to pay for black kids?
It wouldn't be easy to give reparations back when slavery was abolished. Of course, it would be harder now. Do you think that people today, white people, benefited from their families owning slaves?
No.
Well, it's proven that people that had slaves in their family